A little bit, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good.
All right,
Yeah,
man. Thank you for stopping by.
yeah,
Appreciate you
of
coming by,
course.
man. And yeah, man. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so long story short, my name is Luciano, and basically, man, I just want to talk about my experience with addiction and where it started, how bad it went, and how I was able to, overcome it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And so I've known you for what, like I think, yeah, like over 3 years, bro.
Hmm.
And we become really close friends. We make music together, all that stuff, man. And I've seen you come like struggle a little bit, man. So do you want to kind of talk about, um, how your addiction looked like before you got sober?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, like, it's crazy coming into the rooms and getting sober with all these people, coming up in the program, and me coming into the program, it just didn't seem real to me, man. It just didn't, and I would go back out, and you see me at my worst, bro.
Yeah.
At my worst, and I come back and I see all the people I was in rehab in the first and my first go around. Like, man, they're still sober. People I never thought would end up sober, stay sober. They got their material stuff. They seem happy. They got their family back. And that's when it kind of started to click for me, bro. Like, okay, this is possible. This is possible. And that really motivated me to come back. You know what I mean? And it's true when they say, bro, like, keep coming back. I
Right.
used to always, I hated hearing all those cliches, bro. But I lived it, so it's undeniably true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to see you sober, bro. Like, because especially, because I mean, we're somewhat youngsters, and
Right. Right.
and no one really gets clean off fentanyl and heroin.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, man. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about how your life looked like before coming into the program? Just a little brief,
Um.
story of how your addiction looked like. You know.
Oh man. So let's see. I'm gonna start off like when I did heroin,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then how I got bad right there. So when I first did heroin, bro, like, it just had a grip on me. I stopped doing everything that I was passionate about. You know what I mean? I stopped boxing. I stopped carrying a lot. And I didn't really notice it. I mean, cause I was like, I'm young, bro. I'm just gonna wild out, and it's not gonna overcome me. Like, it's cool. I'll quit, whatever.
Right.
And that's not how it went, right? And things started looking bad. I started withdrawing, and I didn't really know what I was feeling, bro. I was like, "What is this? Like, what's wrong with me?"
Yeah.
And then it had a grip on me, bro. And I remember this one dude. I don't know why. I always remember this one dude. He was on a bike one time. This random dude, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bro, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing what's the worst thing that could ever happen to somebody?" And he was like, heroin, man. I wouldn't wish that on my own enemy. Just some random dude, and I had all the signs, but I just really didn't believe it because I'm hard headed, bro. Like, I really got to see it to believe it. Um, but that's a blessing too because I go through these things, bro, and God shows me grace and He gets me through them. So I started doing fentanyl after heroin came out, right? And man, dude, I was hooked. I mean, dude, I was stealing. Um, almost got killed a couple times because I stole from some people. Uh, I seen some friends get shot. Basically, bro, I was burnt out in West Phoenix.
Right.
To where, like, I just ended up being like this hermit at the crib, just like finding any way to get money. Um, and I would just be at the crib getting high, bro. And it's messed up because, like, when I get high, bro, I don't know if I showed you a video or you even seen me,
Yeah.
but I get crazy. Like, honestly, I believe I do get, like, possessed, right? Because now I think back, every time I would get high, I feel like this overwhelming, like, sense of power. I can't explain it, then I'll black out. and I just like start screaming from the top of my lungs, and you know what I mean. I would burn my fingers, bro. You see my fingers,
Yeah, I
bro?
remember.
My fingers were black from because I would sit there, you know, and my ex girlfriend Allie, she has videos, bro, where I would sit down, and I would burn my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was burning my fingers so bad, bro. I got second-degree burns on 6 of my fingers. Um, I would self-harm a lot, bro. Like, I would hit myself, scratch myself. Um, I think I gave myself cauliflower ear because one time I just got high, and the next day I woke up with cauliflower ear. I'm
Damn.
not really sure how I got it.
Yeah.
But just stuff like that, bro. But the thing is, bro, when I was a kid, I would like drive around like by my boxing gym. So I used to train on 97 Van Buren, and I would see like winos. You know, these winos, you know, like homeless people. You know what I mean? I'd be like, how can a person get to that place? You know, like
Right.
how? Like is that even like why don't like what's going? Like I just didn't understand how someone can get into that place, and I never in my wildest dreams believed that I could ever land in that same situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, from being like from training was you know, I was in boxing, bro. Like it's a bunch of discipline, you know what I mean? You know, I grew up with a lot of like prestigious boxers. I mean, dude, boxing's hard, and if you're in that world, you kind of like I don't know, like basically, bro, I didn't ever think I could land in that spot because I thought I was really into like a discipline and all that
Right.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
But slowly and surely, man, like it happened,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when I was in that situation, bro, when I was just completely shut out, and just I'm fat now, bro. You know the incomprehensible demoralization.
Yep.
Like it was just unbelievable, bro. I would sit down like, how did I get here? You know, like that's crazy. You know, I was hopeless, bro. I was hopeless. I was hopeless.
Do you want to kind of talk about a little bit about how you got into recovery, you know, and what that looked like for you? You know what I mean? Like, you know, because I know you've been, you know, you've had your, you know, your rounds of
Mm.
coming in and out, right? Like, and so, do you want to kind of talk about what that has taught you or what that looked like for you? You know, with the 12 steps coming into the fellowship, you know, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how it all started, man. I swear, like God has a sense of humor, bro. So, so I was basically I get lost because it's a long story. You know, it's hard to put it all together. But what happened was I was shot off fentanyl. I didn't know what to do. I have no family to call because I only got my father out here, my family, so I have nobody to help me. My friends are trying to take me to church. Right? I'm getting high at church, in the restroom. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
I come home. I'm like, you know, it's just I don't know what to do. I asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, like I need help. Like what do I do? I need to go to rehab or I don't know or something. He's like, nah, you'll be alright. Just go to the gym.
Yeah.
Just go to, in his mind, he thinks if I go to the gym and work out, I'll be fine and I'll get through it, you know? But he just doesn't get it, and it's all good, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting at this hotel right there on the east side of Phoenix, and I'm just like getting high, bro. And I see this commercial come by all the time, be like, call this number if you need help. And I'm just like, I'm always missing this commercial, bro.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm watching Forensic Files trying to get this commercial, and I get it, and I call him. And then, long story short, Calvary hits me up and takes me to Calvary. And that's when it all started. But going into the program, I didn't like it at all. You know, I don't know. I was just naive, bro. I was just naive, and I thought I knew what was best for me, and I didn't want to follow suggestions. I didn't want to do none of that. So, you know, I go in and out, and then, you know, slowly and surely, I started to see things. You know, people getting better, and you know, I just never want to do the work, bro. I straight up, I just never want to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, I never I never really did anything in high school. I like reading books, but you know, it got to a point, bro, where I was like, you know, I just gotta do it. Like, I mean, I don't got nothing to lose. You know, you know, I already lost 5 years trying to get sober. Like, I might as well give it everything. I just give everything up, literally give everything up, and just focus on the 12 steps. Just focus on doing good. And then yeah, so it worked, bro. It worked. I feel like it worked a little. It works in ways that you wouldn't expect it. Like for me, I feel like it was a little different because I already had my faith. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I just didn't know how to exercise it. I didn't know how to exercise my spirituality. I didn't know how to, get in tune with God and live in His will. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what living in my will looked like. And I start working the steps, and I start realizing all these things. I got all these repressed memories of people I harmed in the past that harmed me, and I write it down, and I started to forgive and work with those resentments. But the 12 steps definitely they gave me a step by step guide to exercise my spirituality in ways that no one ever really taught me before.
Right.
And that's yeah, man. It's just
And so, how do you want to talk a little bit about how it looks like? Do you right how it looks like to live in your will versus God's will now? Now that you have a little bit of understanding, right? How does that look like for you, right? That spiritual warfare that they talk about, right? Or living in God's will, or living in self will. What's your understanding of that now versus back then?
So man, I got a very psychotic way of thinking, bro.
Right.
And I realized that after getting sober, like my way of thinking is really is bad. You know what I mean? So like basically, bro, I just like my sponsor said, bro, just do the next right thing. So if I have a decision to make, right, and one way is bad, one way is good, I know doing good is God's will. And if I make a decision because it's gonna benefit me in one way or another, it's living in my will. And just leaning on God towards everything. Giving it to God, bro. Like if I'm in a situation where whatever, bro, I have to lean on God. You know what I mean? When I have some kind of fear, I gotta lean on God. Just leaning on God for everything. I should be I could always give more to God. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to handle situations on my own because I can't orchestrate things, bro. They're out of my control. You know what I mean? I can't control people, place, or things. But I know if I give it to God, He'll orchestrate things to where not only will I benefit, bro, but other person will benefit too. That's what I was saying. Like the power of praying for your enemy is strong, bro. Because when I was in Mexico, I was in rehab with one dude and we wanted to kill each other. For no reason. Literally, like we were about to kill each other. And I felt I had so much anger in me, bro. And I got a suggestion to forgive him and this and that. And I forgave him. I truly forgave him because I didn't want that anger, to kill me inside. And we ended up being like best friends, bro. After that,
The power.
Yeah, and it happens all the time, bro. Like people I live with, I had some conflicts,
Right.
and then things just worked out.
Yeah.
At work, I have conflict with coworkers. I pray for them. I try to pray for them.
Right.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to pray for people, right? But I do, and it works out. But it's all in God's time. And bro, it's just like that feeling, that grace, bro. It's just, man, bro, it feels so good. It's like humbling, It makes me tear up because like, why would I think about hurting this person?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because in the you know what I mean. In the Bible it says like if you think about hurting somebody or something, you're basically committing murder in your mind.
Yep.
So my thinking is that lethal where like, oh, bro, like just die, or I want to hurt you or whatever. And so when God orchestrates everything and everything works out for the both of us and we end up being cool, that grace is like, why was I thinking that way?
Yep.
It's foolish of me thinking that way. I don't want to hurt this guy. Like I'm happy seeing him do better. You know what I mean? But that's how my thinking is sometimes. So I gotta give it to God. I gotta give it to God. So and He'll fix it. He'll fix it, bro. And Yeah, bro, leaning on God, bro.
Yeah, it's honestly it's amazing how many of my relationships have been restored due to just praying for others, just like you said, bro. You know what I mean? Because it's insane what we think. You know, some dude like somebody crosses us the wrong way, and we're automatically our thoughts go to, man, I want to hurt this person. You know, but then after a while, like your intuition kind of just tells you, man, like, why am I thinking that? You know, and you start putting that, it's like the Holy Spirit kind of touches you, and you're like, man, why am I thinking that? Let me do something about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so once you start praying, even if you don't mean it, like you said, because it's hard at first, and sometimes I don't mean it at first, but I know that it's the right thing to do. After a while, you start meaning it.
Yeah,
You truly want to pray for that person, and you truly want to forgive them,
yeah,
because you don't want to have this hate inside of you.
yeah,
But that's just our human desire. Like that's just our human nature to have those kind of thoughts, and especially since we're alcoholics, it's enhanced. Because
yeah,
everybody has. I feel like everybody has hate in their heart, but with alcoholics, it's a little bit more enhanced.
yeah.
Yeah, and so how does it? You talked about in the beginning how you always had that faith, but you didn't know how to exercise it. And so how does that look like today for you now? How do you, what are you doing currently that's growing you closer with God? Because I know that you do several things, right? You go to church, you do Bible study with Matt, and so how does that look like for you every day?
Having faith in God.
Yeah. Or
How does
how do you grow that faith? How do you how do you exercise it?
how do I think for me, patience plays a big part. I ask God to give me self control and patience to just let Him work things out. And because I've never been impatient, but I exercise my faith, bro, by just praying about things. Like my enemies. Praying for my dad, praying for my household. Like I don't. It's this. I know, like like you're not supposed to test God, but like it's also not. I don't think it's not bad to like kind of like you know. I mean, it says it's bad. It says in the Bible is you're not supposed to test God. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
in a way, like I pray for things because I want to see those things happen and believe them for myself. So I pray for things, bro, and I pray for my household and things get better. I pray for my workspace, things get better. I pray for my relationships with people, my relations, and it gets better. My fears, bro, like I just a core of, I mean, anything really,
Right.
and just kind of like see if God's gonna do something,
Right.
and then you start seeing how God does it. And you're like, wow, like I should be praying for more stuff. But my ego, bro, and my pride, I got too much ego and too much pride sometimes that'll keep me from praying for things. And I don't, yeah, it's just my ego is still big, bro, and I still, I don't have nowhere near as much pride as I used to, but my ego kicks in, and I just think I can handle things myself. And it's foolish, bro, because I know God will fix things for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also get attacked, bro. I get attacked. That's
Yeah.
another big thing,
Thank
bro.
you.
I get attacked. Yeah, I get attacked, bro.
Thank you.
You you know what I mean? The enemy, bro, the disease, whatever you want to call it, maybe it's the same thing. It attacks you, bro. It don't play fair. It does not play fair, bro. I've had my own family used against me. I had my people I love used against me. I've had like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like the devil don't play fair. He's gonna lowball you. He's gonna he's gonna he's gonna use any means to make you fall. He's gonna attack you at your weakest points too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it, bro. Me growing up boxing, like I just keep fighting, bro. I keep coming back. Just keep fighting, bro. I refuse to give up. I just have hope, bro, and I have faith. And if I keep fighting, I keep going, things will get better. You know what I mean? Things will get better, bro. And But the thing is, I gotta make sure I condition myself to fight those rounds. You know what I mean? I gotta condition myself. But how? I gotta be of service. I gotta help people. I gotta read my Bible. I gotta read my big book. I gotta call Paul. I gotta work out my resentments. I gotta give things to God. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, bro, I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to have this poison in me. I've had it my whole life, bro. Since I was a kid, all I know was suffering and pain.
Right.
Since I was a kid, I used to be so angry, bro. Bro, it for so long, I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it, And I don't. When I get that feeling of resentment, or I feel like someone wronged me, or I feel like some kind of victim or something. I just try my best to. Sometimes I don't even know what to do, because my ego is still there, and I don't want to pray about it. I don't want to talk to, but I just dude. I just look to the right of me, and I just talk to that person. There's been times where I just look right, bro, and I see someone, that I work with that's cool, and I just talk to him about it, and that even works. So I just keep fighting, bro, because my mind got a weird way of working, and I get attacked. Yeah, I do get attacked, bro, and
Yeah, bro. No, that's so good, man. That's so good, and I love how you brought that up because I was gonna bring that up too. That spiritual warfare because it is real. And that disease is real, and it talks to you into doing crazy shit. And like you said, even though I know that God is the solution to all my problems, I still feel like I can fix it. And that's my disease talking. I have a disease that tells me I don't have one.
yeah.
And so I love how you brought that up, man. And so we're gonna kind of end it at this, man. And I'll ask you one last question is. So we hear different things all the time. It's almost like every week we live by something. You hear something at a meeting and you're like, oh shit, that was good. Or hear something at church and you're like, oh, I wasn't aware of that before. So what is something currently that you have been living by, or what's something that you've heard recently that just kind of opened your eyes a little bit?
It's kind of the same thing, but in different ways, and it's really like your God talking to me.
Right.
When I was in Mexico, these we call them padrinos, like the older, the guys who have years and time in the program.
Yeah.
They would be like, thank God life ain't fair. That stuck with me. It's always stuck to me, and I've heard John Jones talk about that lately, and I was like, yeah, and every day when I live every day, bro, and I think things are not fair for me and my circumstances and growing up. At the same time, I gotta thank God life ain't fair, because if a person like me should be in prison or in jail or in an asylum or missing a limb or missing an eye. But I'm complete.
Right.
How does a person get through all that? I always wonder, like, how am I so lucky like this? It's not possible. Like, luck I just don't even believe in luck no more. So whenever I'm in self-pity, like John said, thank God life ain't fair, and I heard that in Mexico too, and they were hard on me out there. They're like, oh, so you're mad because he stole your piece of bread, but you stole it in the past, though, right? What did he steal in the past? Oh, okay, so you're getting mad because someone stole from you, but you're stealing from people, and just stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, bro, thank God life ain't fair, and that God shows me, like, people say different things that kind of reverse back to that. I just put the puzzles together.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Just honestly, bro, just God talks to me straight up. You know what I mean? And it brings me back. He restores me back to sanity, like, bro, almost on a daily basis.
Right.
Straight up, like, God restores me back to sanity on the daily basis, because my way of thinking is crazy. Because I be thinking some crazy stuff, man, and it all arises from sin, bro. You know what I mean? From greed. If I allow that to grow, I might end up in prison or dead. I mean, it says, bro, if you allow sin to grow, it'll lead to death. If I'm greedy, if I steal something, I gotta be like, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Because I keep doing it. Next thing you know, I'm breaking into cars. Next thing you know, I'm breaking into houses. Next thing you know, I'm robbing a jewelry store.
Right.
Next thing you know, I'm shot
Mm-hmm.
or in prison or both. You know, if I don't control my lustful ways, it'll lead to this, it'll lead to that, demoralization.
Right.
You know, and then next thing you know, I'm dead because of it.
Right. Right.
You know, I could either be with somebody's wife or I can get a disease.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was every sin, bro. You know, I almost died of gluttony when
Right.
I was a kid. I was extremely obese. I almost died. God saved me from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Pride. You know, that gave me killed too quick.
Yeah.
You know, road rage. Pulls out a gun, blah,
Yeah.
dead. So I got to make sure I don't allow my sins to grow because it'll lead me back to using.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because every time I do these things that pleasure me, my what you may call those things? That dopamine.
All right.
You know?
Yep.
If I overdo things that I enjoy, the dopamine pumps, and it gets used to pumping a certain way where like when I don't, it gets me depressed because it's just not pumping the way I should,
Yep.
and then that'll lead me to like
Well, I know what will make me feel
I know
better.
it'll make me feel better,
Yep.
you know, some fentanyl,
Mm-hmm.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's crazy, but in my head, it sounds good.
Yep.
You know, it sounds good. So I just gotta, you know, like I said, every time I see if I steal a little Hershey's bar or if I whatever, bro, I gotta cut it there and I gotta repent. I gotta sanitize. I gotta sanitize my body, bro, my soul. I gotta sanitize it from all that. I gotta cut ties with all that because if I allow it to grow, it'll put me in lethal situations, man, where I can
Right.
lose my life. Or I'll make my life miserable. I'll make my life miserable in the process.
Right.
You know, and for me, it was just all lead to using. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, man. No, thank you so much. That was beautiful, man. And so, yeah, man. We'll end it at that. I just wanna say thank you for coming by. I appreciate you sharing your story and sharing the message, man. And yeah, thank you.
yeah. Thanks, brother. It's good to be here. You
Yeah.
know, thank God. Straight up.
Let's go.
I kind of messed up in the middle.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah. Ever since I overdosed, bro, I can't think the way.